everybody? It's manager Marco. Thank you for joining in the show. The Not So Famous podcast, episode number 3. Tonight, I'm really pumped because I get to put my boy on a hot seat tonight. And I'm really excited about it. I'm glad he took time out. Sorry about the delay. But nonetheless, I'm going to bring my boy Trevor in the show. And there he is, my man.
Yo, Merry Christmas, my guy.
Look at you. It's one thing I can always count on is you to be festive all the time.
That's right.
All the time. So, last night we had to postpone. How was that tree lighting ceremony last night?
Man, it was, I'll tell you what, we probably could have done the podcast. It was freezing.
No, of course not. We thought about it, right? We thought about it really quick, but
I thought I was going to be more in the middle, in the mix, where it was going to be loud and crazy. I was off to the side. They didn't even have any speakers over there. You could just kind of like hear what was going on in the middle of the room.
Yeah.
In the rink, like I was on the outskirts of it.
Right.
But like, yeah, I was there. I got there like 5:30 because I was like, oh, it starts at 7. Everyone's going to be getting there, rushing to see. I didn't want to be, too far in the back. So that's why I was like, I'm not going to be out there. But then like as time started going and people started hearing the rumblings, like the tree ain't going to be lit till 9:57. and we couldn't even see the show or anything. We were just sitting out there in the cold. People just started to like leave. And I was like, shit. I was out there for, a good hour and a half.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, like, I'll come back tomorrow. Like, I'll come back tomorrow and see the tree. So I started to leave. Now, the way they had it, they had like 5th Avenue and 6th Avenue barricaded. So you had to get your bag checked and walk in, and here was the tree in here.
Right.
So I left, and before I got outside of the barricade, which means I would have had to get back in line to get back in, there was like a little bar, like a little restaurant. So I just went there. I went and chilled in there, had food. See, that was when we could have like done this. And so that was what I meant. What I meant was that was that time. I was like from 8 to 10. I was in there from like 8 till the tree. I was like, I'm not sitting back outside. So I just sat in there and then went back out. Saw the tree get lit, which was great. Glad I did it. True New York. But next year, I'm gonna buy tickets next year.
You're gonna actually go in the front, right, where Kelly's at. Kelly Clarkson's at.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, because you're originally a California boy, right?
Absolutely. Yes.
You're a California boy to heart.
Yes.
Right, and so let's get into it. So how did you end up auditioning for making the band, trying to get in a boy band, which is of course became Otown? How did that all start?
Man, California kid, like you said, bro. I was like, grew up Ranch Cucamonga, dream. I was in college at the time.
Right.
Cal State Fullerton. I was in my 3rd year of college. I was majoring in theater.
Okay.
I was on my plan of what my plan was to get my bachelor's in theater. Then I was going to move to New York, and I was going to get my master's at a college in New York somewhere. And then I wanted to move to the New York City. That's what I wanted to do. That was like the plan I was on. My 3rd year is like, I always did like lip syncs and stuff in high school, like junior high and stuff. Always like the kid in the wedding that like, was dancing like crazy. Like I was like, New Edition was my, I love that shit. Crisscross. I was like Drew Hill. I was doing all the 90s R&B and stuff. So I always was like, thought I could be in like the boy bands when they came out. I was like fans of them. I was like, damn, this music is dope. Like, this is fun. It's like the dude in the fraternity that's like bumping the boy bands, like whatever. I didn't care. I was like, I know who I am. I'm cool with who the fuck I am.
Amen, brother. Amen.
Yeah. And my 3rd year, my boy Joel, Joel.
Absolutely. I love him.
Shout out Joel, our tour manager, my best friend. We're in college. He worked for the school paper. And that was when the internet had just like came out. Internet just started. So he was actually on the internet a lot every day because he worked for the school paper. And he found the audition. He found the auditions like, oh, Lou Pearlman is, auditioning boys to be in a band. And I was like, what? He's like, look at this. I found this. I'm like, oh shit. Yeah. He had like in a video, and like, this is back when you had to like rent an actual video camera. So
Yeah.
we knew some people in the audio visual department at the college. We like rented out a room and like we put this whole video together, cut and splice, us singing, us dancing, doing choreography. He played like the piano. I did like some tap dancing, like, hey, pick us, you know.
Right.
And actually, based on the video, like Joel got a call back.
Really?
Yeah, they like sent him an email like, yo, we need you to come to LA to audition. Like, come to the LA audition. You've been selected. I'm like, oh,
Wow.
I didn't even have an email at that time. I just set it up for this thing, like for the thing. They're like, we need your
Oh,
email.
okay.
So I just set mine up. So I went and checked mine, and I didn't get one. Like same thing he got. I was like, all right, well, next day, didn't get anything. Next day, didn't get it. I never got the call back. Like they never wanted to see me.
That's crazy.
So it comes up on the day. It's like gonna be like it's like a Saturday morning. And we show up. He begs me to go with him. Basically,
Right.
I didn't want to go. I didn't even want to go.
Really?
I didn't want to go because I was like already deflated that they saw me on the tape with him.
Right.
Like, and they didn't pick me already. They didn't even want me to show up. Like, come on, man. You don't want me to show up? You don't even want me to. You're like, what?
Give me a shot.
This has got to be a mistake.
Right.
But they didn't. So I was like, man, I don't want to go. Like, but he had to drive all the way to LA. He didn't want. He's like, I don't want to go by myself. I don't want to sit out there. I'm like, whatever. Like, fine. I'll go with you. So we go there. We go to check in, and I'm like, obviously, maybe my email is messed up. Maybe they did try to send me the thing. So let me go. When Joel checks in, I'll go check in with him. You know what I mean?
Right.
She's like, yeah, Joel Helgeson. She's like, yep, Joel Helgeson. She's like, all right, you'll be in like this first little bunch of people right here. I'm like, yeah. I'm like, Trevor Penick. I'm like, I was on the tape with him. I think you guys like, email, She's like, what is it? Penick? I'm like, yeah, Penick, P-E-N. She's like, oh, Penick. She's like, no, I don't have you here. She's like, you're going to have to wait in the general line. This is all. Those Universal Studios. It's only like probably 300 or 400 people, but it's like, it's going to be like 4 or 5 hours, man.
Yeah.
So I'm like, all right. So clearly they didn't want to see me. All right, we have we stamped that. They did not mess up the email. So I go wait in the long line. I'm like in the long line. I'm in the line. I'm just in the line. I'm just singing, tearing up my heart, just back and forth.
Right.
That's just sitting in line, vibing out. I'm not really talking to anyone. I'm just kind of sitting there. I got probably an hour and a half left, and this guy just comes down the line. His name's Andy Gross. He works for Lou. He works for the company.
Yep.
He just points at me. He's just like, hey. He's like, what's your name? I'm like, I'm Trevor. He's like, what's up, Trevor? He's like, you look like a star. He's like, you ready to come audition? You gonna come audition right now? I'm like, huh? He's like, yeah, come on. I'll take you to the front. I'm like, okay, yeah, cool.
Yeah.
So just walks me to the front. There's like a dude that's like getting ready to go. He like literally is like, oh no, hold on 1 second. And just like, so I go.
Wow.
And then I went up there and sang and danced. I fucking killed it. It was great. I felt so good with what I did. Which was cool because I was super, super nervous.
That was gonna be my next question. You had to be nervous.
Bro, I was in line just singing over and over because I was just like, oh my God. I was like, the moment just like kept building and building and building. I was so nervous. It was a lot like, honestly, it's a lot like how I get before I do stand-up comedy, right?
Okay.
Like before I'm about to go up and do stand-up, because I don't do it, like I only do it like whatever, once a month or once every couple, you know what I mean? Like I get like the whole day, I have like this big, like I'm just super nervous. But then the second I grab the mic and say, what's up? And I get reaction from the crowd. Like the second that happens, it literally all goes away.
Right.
When I hear people say that, I get it. Like that makes perfect sense to me.
Right.
And that's what I always equate to, like, don't run away from those nerves. Like let those nerves be there. Like it's good that they're there because that means it matters to you.
Yeah.
Something that matters. But once you get there, you gotta just like let them go and go. Right.
And
and so that's which I didn't even realize. Like now that I'm talking about it, I realize that those are two parallel things. Like that day at that audition is exactly the same thing that happens to me every time I do stand up. Like I was so nervous and then I just killed it.
Yeah. Right.
Like that's the first time I've actually given that answer. So
exclusive. Thank you.
Exclusive first time answer to Marco.
Damn right.
I've been answering that question for 23 years. And
Damn.
now I have a new answer to it.
Just for your boy.
Because of stand-up comedy.
That's right.
Because I'm now doing new shit.
Right. You don't stand in one spot. You're not stale. I love it. I love it. So you make it, right? You make it through, and then you finally make it to the group of 10, right? You're in the house with the group of 10.
Eight.
Sorry, 8.
Yep.
So then, of course, they narrow it down. 5. You make it, right? Emotions. At that point, how long do you have to keep it a secret? Is my first question for you.
Yeah. See, that was crazy because, yeah, like reality TV back then wasn't the same as it is here. They needed a lot of time to like edit.
Yeah.
All the footage, like fucking Hard Knocks, that shit comes out the next week now. It's crazy.
Right, exactly.
Like, you're like, oh damn, you're like, this just happened. Like Hard Knocks episode this week is gonna have like Javon's 99-yard touchdown on it. Shout out.
Right. Shout out to Javon, my man.
Yeah. So yeah. So we had to. It was a long time, man. It was a long time. Yeah. Even on, when we were a group, we had got picked. It was a couple months before the show even like started. It hadn't even been aired yet.
Right.
So like really people didn't even know who we were. That's why we had to, it was months. It was months. You couldn't really tell. I mean, obviously I could tell my family and stuff.
Sure.
They knew, but like the whole point of it being a TV show was that the people couldn't know who was going to make it.
Right. Like at one point, did you think, damn, I wish this person should have made it, not saying anything negative about anybody else, but he's like, damn, I can't, because let's be honest, Kaika made it, and then, watching the show again, what they edit and what really happens is different, or, it's not so much the truth.
I think that I just believe the way it went down was the way it was supposed to go down. Like, it's crazy because all the things that happen are what created like the reason for it to be what it is and the reason why it still is what it was. Because like out of the 8, when there was 8, one guy quit and there was only 7. Right. Paul was in the 8 and he quit. And like, I mean, at that time, in that moment, like most people had Paul in the 5.
Yeah.
Now he ended up going and being in like a country band, like a blues country band. So who knows? Most people had him in it. Like maybe he's quitting to save face. That's like what he like says on the show. Like, and then he ended up being in another band. But I don't know. Maybe he just quit because he didn't know like what wasn't he?
Oh, there we go. Yeah. I think we lost you. I think you lost your audio. Somebody tried to call you. I think we lost your audio. Somebody tried to call you. Hold on. Yeah, you can't hear me? Hold on. How about now? Yeah, I can't hear you. Can't hear you. Somebody tried to call you, cut you off. Damn, that was getting good too. Hold on. Try to get out and get back in if you can. Yeah, hold on. Let me see if I can do this here. Get back in. Go out. Come back in. Wow. Hold on. Yeah, hold on. Sorry about that, guys. Somebody tried to call him and messed him up there. So we'll try to get him right back on. It was getting good. If you guys have any questions, put them in the chat. Put them in the chat and I'll ask them. I know you guys did it on Instagram, so I have some questions lined up. And I'm going to try to get him back in. So interesting. He gave me a little first time answer there. I love it. So we'll get him back in here in a second. That's what happens when you're popular, like Trevor. People calling him constantly. So try to get him back in here. So in the chat room, how long you been watching? How long you been fans with of Otown? There he is. Let's see if he comes back in.
There he is.
There you are. All right. Somebody tried to call you.
Yeah, there he is.
Yeah,
What the
that
hell
happens.
was that? Sorry, I didn't know.
There
what
we
that
go.
was.
So
Okay, so Paul, like, you know, when Paul left, that like created this spot. The only thing, like the Dan thing, like even when they picked the 8, it was like, oh, like Dan's not in.
That's
Okay.
what I was
Like,
thinking.
You know, I mean, we all, you know, we saw him for real. You know what I mean? I saw him like do his thing, and I was like, that dude's dope. You know,
Right.
And obviously, it was not anything we ever talked about.
Right.
Like even in the house, we weren't like, oh, that person should have been. We just kind of like lived whatever. But then Paul quit, you know, and then it was like us, and like I said, that I gained like I got like a little confidence, kind of a little bit when Paul quit.
Sure.
Like, and then you know, obviously, when we decided like, okay, Kaika's going to be in it, that was supposed to happen because then Kaika's the one that was the most likely to quit, so that we could get Dan back. So,
right.
You know, it was really like the one person that, you know, you kind of thought that whole time like would have been dope, ended up getting to do it and finding his way in the band somehow, which is so crazy.
The way
it's so weird the way that happened because like any other way, like just like if like Kaika doesn't, it's crazy. It's just crazy because like why would he kind of quit? Like why would he quit? Why would you audition in the first place? Like the fact that he even did that.
Yeah.
That one single soul in Hawaii.
Yeah.
You know, decided to do something that he really didn't even want to do.
Right.
If he doesn't decide to do that, then none of this obviously happens the way it is, and who knows what transpires.
Right.
Who knows what the band is right now today? Who knows what it would have been then?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Was it true to form at like what the TV was showing with you know kind of the family running his life?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
That's crazy.
That was, I mean, pretty. You know, I mean, dude, the cameras were following us back then. That was 24/7, man.
Right.
Now, they could edit to make like storyline and make it you know thing, but they had all real shit. Like that was all real stuff. Those were all real emotions and real things happening.
Sure.
You know, in real time as they were going down. So
and it was a first show of its kind, right? Reality show of its kind. There was nothing. There was no American Idol at that time. Nothing. You guys were the first, and that's why it was so intriguing to me. You know, who doesn't want to be in a boy band, right? Who doesn't want to be in a boy band?
Right.
I don't care who you are. If you say no, you're stupid, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, I can't sing, I can't dance, so you know that's why I play the background role. But you know, so cameras, they followed you everywhere. Any one story that you could possibly share of you kind of dodging the camera, maybe with a girl, or maybe you guys are sneaking out somewhere. Like, how hard was it to get away from those cameras?
Oh man, let me.
I don't want to get you in trouble, but
no. I never really did anything to dodge the cameras. I wasn't like we weren't like at that time. We weren't like going out and like we were stuck to like the house and the thing, and so it wasn't like, oh, I'm gonna go out and like, oh, cameras can't see me do this. I can't like let the cameras see me. You know what I mean? Like, if they're following me around now, I'd be fucking dodging them left and right. I'm like, no, you can't be in here for this. No, you can't be in here for this. Like, but then, I mean, back then, no, it was like, it was cool. What we used to do was like, I mean, we used to mess with them a little bit, like because our bedrooms didn't have doors. There were curtains.
Right.
You know, we shared bedrooms. You know, so it was like anytime you wanted to talk about something. Like they would just like it could be 3:00 in the morning. You could wake up and I could be like, yo, Jake, yo, man, like I can't sleep. Like, yo, man, what do you think? As soon as like, I mean, before I even wake him up, there's like a fucking boom, the Kino light in the room. You know, like it's just immediate. So sometimes we would just mess with them, pretend to have like conversations and just be like, I got you. You know, like shit like that. You know.
So you guys, of course. You know who you were trying out for, right? You know who was running the show at the time, Lou, right? Yeah. Did you feel at that time, or even now, that you had an advantage because everything was so public, so he couldn't go there and kind of stick 100%. It to you? You know what I'm saying? Like, was that an advantage?
Yes, 100%, 100%.
Right.
We were very lucky to be able to have that kind of leverage, and like he
Okay.
didn't want to look like a bad dude. He didn't want to like. So yeah, we
Right.
use the camera as leverage for sure. We even, matter of fact, and I forget what it might have been. No, it was when we were about to go on tour, and he was like not going to pay us the funds that he was supposed to pay us or
Right.
whatever. Yeah, so
Right. Yeah.
we like called him in, like, oh yeah, well, can we talk to you? And he didn't know the cameras were going to be there, and like the cameras were there, and we're like, oh, so what's up? Like, are you not going to give us the money now
Right.
for like what you said you were supposed to give us the tour money? Like, it's not in the account. Like, on the cameras are there. He's like,
Right.
oh
What are
no
you gonna
no
do?
no no, I didn't say that. Like, I just we hadn't for sure like done the negotiations yet or whatever, and so he ended up giving us the money, and we had to do like the long shot. We had to do that movie like in return
Right.
or
Right. That was
something,
part of
something
the
like
deal.
that.
How
Yeah.
how involved was he after the you had the final five and you started, I guess, recording? How involved was he?
He wasn't after
Right.
that. Once the
Right.
TV show, like once the first season was over, he
Right.
wasn't involved in the daily life at all. Like once we signed Actual Management, hence their name was Actual Man. The name of their company was Actual
Actual
Management.
management. I didn't even know
Like
that.
what a jab at like Lou. Oh, we're actually management.
That's great.
And that was Mike
Mike and Mike.
Cronin, and
Right.
then
Mhm.
Mike Moore. Yeah, yeah. So once we
Yep.
signed with them, they were like our day-to-day people, and then we had Clive, and so it was like the record label and our managers.
Right.
That was it.
Right.
Lou was just like company that put us together from whatever.
Right. Right. So you guys, you guys, Liquid Dreams, right? What was the first time? Like, what the first time you felt like, holy crap, this shit's happening? Like this is really happening. We're gonna get on a tour bus. We're gonna tour the country, the world. Like, what moment was that for you? Like, when did that?
You
You
know,
know?
I mean, there was a kind of a lot of them. Like
Yeah.
when you got picked, that was like, oh my god. When I remember this was actually on the TV show. The first time we drove to rehearsals with like the five of us,
Right.
me, Eric, Jacob, Ashley, and
Right.
Ikaika. Like
Right.
we're in the car on the way. We're like, man, this is it. Like this is the group. Like
Right.
this is who we're gonna go on tour with. Like this is who we're gonna spend like, we're like, oh, the next 10 years, like, which obviously didn't happen, but like, saying that, like, oh, this is that, you know what I mean? Like, um, it that was one, and then obviously that only lasted 2 months.
Right.
Ikaika
Right.
quit like 2 months in.
Right.
Ikaika
Right.
quit before the show was even done filming. That's what was so
Right.
great.
Yeah.
He quit while the cameras were still on. He couldn't even
Right.
last till the show was done, like
Right.
shooting.
That's
You know,
crazy.
so it was like after we did our first performances, like it was almost like to him it was over.
Right.
Like it's done now. I did what I had to do. Like now it's over. Like
Right.
so that was crazy. Then when we got Dan and did our first show with Dan, but then when we started rehearsing for our first tour, that
Right.
was when it like became real.
Right.
Because after we got signed, like when we got signed, we were doing like mall tours with like the songs we had like
Yeah.
through the audition process and getting picked. Like we had a couple loose songs. We had "Baby I Would." We
Right.
had
Right.
we had this other song called "All the Way" that we were performing, and the take. We had a couple songs that we had written that we were just like making our show, five
Right.
songs or whatever. That was like
Right.
whatever, 3 or 4 songs. Four songs at a mall, but we still that wasn't like a bus or anything. Once we got Clive and we got the album, and then we got to go out on tour with the album, like
Right.
perform, rehearsing every day with the vocal
Right.
coach and
Right.
that, and then the band. The first time we rehearsed with the band, that
Right.
was it. That was
Oh,
a
yeah?
moment.
You were like,
The
damn.
first time we went to like that room and they played, like Mike Moore was like, here, this is what they've been working on, because we were just singing and dancing every day, and they're
Right.
out there, they're over there in the sheds, over there playing our music, working on practicing. I
Right.
remember one day after our vocals and all of our dance rehearsal, it was like, all right, it's our first band rehearsal. We're like, this is what they've been working on, and they played like I forgot what song they played. It was like every 6 seconds or something. Like hearing the band throw it at you like that was just like, oh my god, we're really doing this. That was it,
That
and
was
then
it.
yeah, and then we had like a stage. Mike Moore like designed like a stage with like, the ramps and stuff, and like, yeah, it just was. That was like And then
Yeah, somebody's calling you again, buddy. Are you still there?
don't do it again.
Yeah, no, I hear you. I hear you. Don't curse. No, I'm just kidding. Sorry about that. People keep calling him. You need to put that on airplane mode. It's getting good. Trevor's coming out with the deets, man. This is great. He'll join us back in a second. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Please go like the show, follow the show, comment on the show if you will. Brother. Hey, man, you're popular. I get it, boy band.
Dude,
I get it.
I feel like I could go into airplane mode, can't I?
I just said that. I was like, you should probably go into airplane mode, maybe.
Yep, love that.
I don't know if that'll affect anything, but
I hope so. Well, hopefully I don't freeze.
No, you're good. That handsome face. Nobody cares if you freeze. It's a mannequin challenge. That's pretty good. You're pretty still.
Got him.
Yeah, you're pretty.
Stupid.
No, you're stupid.
I forgot what I was saying anyway.
Oh, Jesus.
That was a good segue.
Yeah.
So when we first went on that first tour we did, that was like
right. And then you guys went out.
That
with
was
Brittany,
like when it was real, man. Yeah.
And you guys went out with Brittany, which was holy crap.
Like, that was like what a third tour.
What a setup that was, man. I remember going with
with the catwalk.
I remember going there with an ex-girlfriend. It was just phenomenal. I was like, man, these guys are good. You know what I mean? So All or Nothing. Holy crap, man. Like, that's your signature song. Did you know it was hit when you guys were recording it and got done and listened to it and said, shit,
man,
like this
we
is it.
We knew the first, honestly. I mean, you don't hold on. You don't know if it's going to be a hit.
Right.
But you know that you have a good song.
Right.
You know when exactly. You have we knew we had a shot. I mean, when we heard that and we heard Liquid Dreams in the same sitting.
Right.
Like Clive played us Liquid Dreams.
Right.
And we're like, okay. Like, all right, that's cool. We like that. Like it was like, had all the ladies in it and everything. And it was like, okay, this is cool. This is cool.
He knew what he was doing.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Like this is cool. And then he's like, but if you do this one, he's like, you get to sing this. And he plays that one. And we all just were like, and it was just piano and the vocalist. That was it.
Okay. Right.
It was super raw. And we were just like, what? And he's like, yeah. So we're like, okay, and we recorded that song in London,
right,
at Steve Mack's house studio, on my 21st birthday.
Oh,
yep, on my 21st birthday. So, so 23 years ago, almost.
Did you miss a lot? Being in the band, as far as like some of those years, did you?
Yeah, I missed a ton. I missed a ton, but I also got, I missed a ton, but also obviously made different memories. So it was cool because I got a chance to do college for 2.5 years.
Okay.
I did get to do the college thing. I did get to be in college for 2.5 years and like do fraternity and know what it was like to be away, but I also missed the like junior, senior year, like graduate college with all my friends and like do all the graduation and parties and that part of it. And like,
right.
I missed that, but I went to a new college. I went to the College for Performing Arts.
Right.
I just left.
Right.
I left and went and did, this amazing thing that I'm still lucky enough to do today.
Exactly.
So that was it. You miss some weddings and some stuff, but like, that's one of the main things we do now is we don't miss those things anymore. When we got back together, it was like, look, we set the schedule up far enough in advance where it's like, hey, hey, can you do a show that day? No, I got my sister's wedding, or I got my cut, whatever, or I got this. Hey guys, can't do this because this is important to me. We all have those days, and then sometimes we're like, I can do it. I'll miss whatever for that, but it's more, it's our personal decision now. Before, it was just like, you're working all these days.
Right.
These are the days you're working, and sorry,
you had no choice, right?
Right.
You had no choice.
Right. No choice.
You had the machine working for you. And what did that first album go? Platinum? Double platinum?
Yeah, I think it went double platinum. Worldwide. Yeah.
Worldwide,
Definitely
right?
platinum. Definitely platinum.
So that kind of winds down, right? You guys
I think 3 million.
3 million? Jesus.
Yeah, I think 3 million.
So that winds down. You guys go directly into recording your second album, and it's right. Am I correct in saying that?
Yeah, it took kind of a longer time than we thought because we were like doing TV and trying to do the album. TV and like, are we going to do more TV? Are we not going to do more TV? We're
Right.
going through this whole thing. So,
Right.
and then it took longer than expected. We didn't do TV anymore, so then MTV was like kind of mad at us.
That was going to be my question. So you guys finished the album and didn't seem like they wanted to push you that much. I mean,
I feel like music was definitely changing, like
Yes.
a little bit. Like
Yeah.
JT was coming out solo. His album was like released the same day as ours.
Right.
His solo album,
Right.
So it was like,
Oof.
and then it was like the sound of music was just kind of changing a little bit. Like time had kind of run its course. And with us not having MTV back us as well, it was like double.
Right.
So it was like, not only is music changing and like boy bands are becoming obsolete, no one really cares anymore, but we
Right.
also don't have MTV shoving you down our throats anymore because they're
Right.
mad at us because we
Right.
decided not to do another season of TV.
Right.
Because we chose Clive over them, basically.
Right.
So
So
it was like,
you still
like our first, like, These Are the Days came out.
right. These are
And
days.
like, right. And on MTV, we were like, the best we ever were was like number 9 or like a close call.
Right. Right.
Whereas like our video before that, granted, it was like a year time had passed probably. We
Right.
Fit Together, like, went number 1.
Right.
So it's like, why would it just, you know what I mean? It's not the song. Song's still good. It's like,
Yeah.
it was like,
Right. But you guys still went out
So-
on tour to support it, right? To
yeah, we
support the
still
album.
toured. We still toured. We still
Right.
toured. We still did shows.
Did you see
you
you see like a diminishing crowd or fan base like were they still coming out to, because the one I went to was like Atlantic City, seemed like it had a good crowd. So I didn't know if crowds
Yeah,
were,
there were good crowds, but it wasn't ever. I don't ever remember doing like a tour like how we did the first album. It was more like spot shows.
okay.
Like, I don't. Yeah,
I think I saw you with
I don't recall.
I saw you
doing-
with Rich Cronin and Bad
Mhm.
Ronald. Bad Ronald, I think it was.
No, Bad Mood Mike.
Bad Moon Mike. Is that what it was?
Bad Mood Mike. That was like his alter ego.
Bad Moon Mike. Right. I saw you guys in Atlantic City somewhere, and it was a good crowd.
Yeah.
But I mean, so at some point, you guys were living in the same house still, right? At that point, or did you guys move
yes.
out?
Yeah.
You guys were.
We were still in the same house.
Right.
Yeah.
And then you guys got together and said, "Yo, like, let's take a break." Is that how how did that conversation go? Like, take me into that. Take me
I
into the
remember.
room.
Yeah, I
take me into
remember. I
that
remember.
room.
We
Take
were
everybody
actually
in the room.
backstage somewhere. I don't remember where we were. We were backstage. We all probably have such a different memory of when this conversation happened, I bet.
Yeah.
But I just remember being like, we had another label, Big Machine Records or something like
Big
that.
Machine. Yep.
Yeah, wanted to sign us, and put us back out on the road, get us in the thing. But like,
Sure.
at that moment, that like felt like such a step back, like such a step down. You know what I mean? Like at that moment,
Sure.
and it was like, we were just like so busy for 3.5 straight years. Like
Nonstop.
literally, I left college and then was, like I was just gone. You know what I mean? Like I never saw my friends and family. It was like we all just were kind of like burnt out. We only had like 4 days off each year. Like,
Right.
so at that point, it was like, yo, let's just pump the brakes. Let's just take a break, like for like, whatever, like a year or whatever, blah, blah,
Right.
blah. But then like, just like, the whole reason Lines and Circles is a thing is because,
Yes.
you take 5 dudes that are like this, and then it's like, all right, let's go take a year off. And then we go like this.
Right.
And each one of these lines is going, how far away
Right.
from each person. Now your line's way over there, I'm
Yep.
way over here.
Yep.
You're way up, and
Yep.
so once you do that and these start to like go out, it's really hard to grasp that and,
Right.
throw it back, grab it back in, so
Right.
So we didn't realize that though, because when
No,
you're together so long it's like I hate to I'll use a wedding instead of a funeral, but it's like a
Thank you.
wedding or a funeral, when you see people you don't see all the time, you're like, man, we should get together more. You're like,
Yeah.
yeah, it was so easy for us to, for this big thing, and you
Right.
just don't think that, and then it's just like a year passes, another year passes, another year
Yep.
passes. Oh, you're doing this. Oh, you're doing
Yep.
that. You're doing that. You're doing that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
it
Do you
just,
remember
like,
your last show together before you guys? You know?
yeah, I mean, yes, I do actually. I
Where
remember it
was
was
it?
in Orlando. It was in Orlando. Yeah, it was at Hard Rock in Orlando.
Decent crowd. Like, take me again. I just want to get in your mind. Like, take me into that show. You guys are still in the same house. You guys are going to the show. It's like, do you guys look at each other and say, "Shit, this is our last show for a while"?
Yeah.
And then you get done the show. Was there any
We're like doing
emotions?
all or nothing. Yeah, and it's like,
Right.
oh, like that's it. Like,
Right.
I don't remember that exact moment. I really don't. I
Okay.
don't.
Right.
I
You guys
remember
go back
that
to
day. I remember being on that stage. I remember the crowd. I remember it not being 100% sold out. It was probably like 80, 85.
Okay. Right.
It was a good show.
Right.
I remember being like, oh man, was that was that it?
Was that it?
Like,
Right.
You
Right. And then you guys go back to the house, and it's like, all right, guys, like I'm gonna, we're just gonna go our separate ways, or
Yeah,
you
and then
stuck around?
everyone was just kind of like, "Hey, I'm gonna go back to LA." Ashley's like, "I want to go back to LA too." Like me and Ashley drove across the country together. Like
Okay.
we drove in a U-Haul truck, a Ryder truck, a yellow Ryder truck together.
Right.
You know.
Right.
So
And you guys kind of just went on your own, did your own things. You
yeah.
talked about it in other interviews. You went right into like waiting tables and stuff. Like you went from
You're
being
not-
on tour.
Yeah, not right into it. That was like 3 or 4 years later, but
Okay,
yeah,
okay, all right.
essentially yes. Like
Yeah.
but yeah.
That's I mean,
that
'cause
was
being
when
on,
I moved. Yeah.
being on stage is like a drug, right? I mean, it's like when you don't
Sure.
have it anymore, and
Yeah,
especially
it's the
for
best
somebody
drug.
like you, right? You love that shit. You
Yes.
eat it up, right?
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like
right.
that's
Yeah.
so I can only imagine how, was there how many times did you guys actually have that conversation? Was there a group text that went around saying, "Hey guys, you want to give it another shot?" Like, was that
No, we
something that
never
was
did.
ongoing? No?
No,
Wow.
never. It
No,
was
never.
it was never a thing until it was a thing.
Really?
It was never like a random like middle of the summer like, hey guys, what's up? Like, want to get back together? Like, there's never anything like that.
Never
Like,
nothing like that.
we saw
Right.
each other like whatever. Like we saw, I would go see Ashley because he's in LA, or Eric. Go down to San Diego, see or Jacob was in Nashville then. It was
Yep.
like, we kind of we really like didn't really talk to each other
Right.
during that break because we were so around each other all the time.
What changed?
Like,
what changed to bring you guys back? Obviously, you there's only 4 out of the 5 and Ashley decided to decline. But so what brought you guys back together?
New Kids was like back now,
Yep.
full swing. Backstreet was doing their thing again. And somebody was just like Paris Hilton or something. Jacob sent out a tweet that was like, did someone say Otown reunion?
Right.
Like just a tweet like that. And like Perez Hilton saw, was like, oh my God, please, yes. And then people started like kind of tweeting it over and like, okay. So we created like a little bit of a buzz to where like some people got interested.
Yeah.
And then, we got like Billy Wood, who's from the UK.
Yep. I know Billy Wood.
Came to us and was like, hey, I think I could get a label out here to sign you guys if you want to do an album and possibly, see, and we were just gonna do one show.
Right.
We were just gonna do like one set of shows overseas. We're do London. We had like 4 Germany dates, and then that was gonna be it. Maybe go back like a couple years later. Like that was it. But then, we got Skydive.
Great song.
And we recorded Skydive, and we performed overseas with Skydive, and then what of our other songs we had. And then like, the US just kind of like was like, what about us? What about us? What about us? And then
Right.
the label was like, well, hey, you guys want to do an album? And then we just like, yeah. And then just
Right.
and then then that label dropped us. after the Lines and Circles album, because they didn't really make a lot of money. They thought it was going to be a lot different. They thought we were
Right.
selling millions of records, and
Right.
it just wasn't, it just wasn't that way. They didn't end up like, they probably didn't even make money,
Right. I mean, it's a different ball game nowadays.
Right. So then we got to, in the midst of that was during the My 2K tour. Like they dropped us like while we were on tour with 98 Degrees, like that. Well, they didn't. It wasn't like, oh, we're dropping you. It was like a mutual, like, yeah, we get it. We understand. And like that, we got, like it was like 2 weeks left of the My 2K tour. I remember one night we're like, hey, we toasted up like in the My 2K dressing room, like, hey, we're out from under the label. I'm like, now we are in complete control.
Yeah.
For sure. We were already kind of in control.
Right.
But we still were answering to somebody. And since then, then we did the Kickstarter, and like everything we've done really since then is just been us, that's what has made it the best. It's like it's our company. Everything you see is us. There's nobody else.
Right. There's no label over you guys. So who runs the business? I know who, but tell everybody who runs.
Everybody knows who runs the business.
Right. I mean, he's the
just
boss,
like
right?
Everyone knows. Yeah,
everybody knows. I mean, I don't know who I'm kidding, but
Jacob runs the business. Jacob's from a business family. During the time when we were broken up, Jacob got his degree in business school.
Right.
And like just from being around him and knowing him and being with him every day, like he loves it. He needs it. It's good for him.
Right.
To wake up and have to be on the computer, answer the emails, do the things, that the way he works, that's like it's perfect for him.
Yeah, it
makes him busy. It's what his thing is, and
it's his life
obviously,
force,
right, exactly. And he loves the the reward is the being on the stage, so he even puts more into it and gets more reward, I would say, than the rest of us in that regard.
Right. So I mean, he's the boss man, and it seems like you guys, being that I'm, I see a lot because I'm at a lot of the shows, right, with you guys and Brad, and it seems like you guys, you've been together the second time around longer than the first, right?
Oh, way
right, way much, right? Way longer.
We're on. This is year 10, man.
Man, that's crazy. Did you think it would
last?
This
is year 10. No, of course not. I mean,
right.
No. Now, yeah, because like the thing about us, man, is that like we we could do this as long as we all continue to want to, and as long as we all continue to stay healthy. Like we've never gotten we'll never get the like notoriety. You know what I mean? Like.
Yeah.
We'll never be in people's like, oh, that's the best boy band, right? Unless you're a fucking townie,
right?
The general population, when people talk about pop culture and they talk about the boy bands, like generally on any top list or whatever, we're not going to be there. Like, it's good, it's going to be Backstreet, NSYNC, whatever, New Kids, 98 Degrees, like the ones people know,
Of course.
But we have what we do is just different. It's just been different this whole time, like we have to do it all. We've had to do it all from like, we had to be let in. We had to fight our way in. We're lucky we had a TV show, If there was no TV show, it wouldn't have mattered. It would not have mattered. We would be nobody. We could have found each other.
Right.
We could have found each other.
Right.
We could have created this exact same band.
Right.
And released music, and nothing would have happened. None of the townies would be townies. They wouldn't.
Right.
The world did not want any more boy bands. It just didn't.
No, it wasn't.
It's not about the specific people. It's not.
Right.
It's not about the town or the specific people. Because, like Lou had Take 5 right there. They had right there in the waiting. Another 5 young, cute guys that could sing and dance. Like here they are. But nobody wanted more. You couldn't break another boy band. Or record labels were like, no, we can't do it.
Yeah.
Like we were the lucky 5 that got to be able to just have the TV show. Thank God.
Right. I mean, so I'm going to get to the controversial Lou. First of all, did you have an inkling shit was not right with him? Like while you were doing all this, like did you? I mean,
we knew his past. We knew his past. We watched tons of stories with him. We watched like an Entertainment Tonight special or something. It came on. He was in the room, and they're talking about him suing NSYNC suing him and Backstreet suing him. He's in the room with us. They're just bad mouthing him on the TV, and he looks to us and he's like, "Look, everything with them got settled. Like they're gonna say what they're gonna say. I'm gonna say what I'm gonna say. But at the end of the day, like." It is what it is. Like that's what he tells us. And like I said, we had the TV cameras with us, so it was like he couldn't give us like this shitty ass deal. The shitty deal he tried to give us, we didn't sign.
Right.
There was one. As soon as he got us, whoa. Our lawyers were like, no, don't sign that. And then we had like another lawyer come in and was like, okay, we got it to a place where, it's like a normal record deal. We're not getting raped. It's like a regular record deal, but it's different than a regular record deal because ABC's involved and Transcon's involved and MTV's involved and all these different, pieces of the pie are involved in our thing. It's like, the only thing Lou did was he just didn't pay us.
Right.
It's like Clive paid Lou. Lou's supposed to pay us.
Right.
Clive paid Lou, and Lou didn't pay us. And Lou would be like, whatever, sue me for it.
Right.
It was like, and that would cost more money.
Of course.
And probably wouldn't even get as much as we're supposed. You know what I mean? It's like, we're not talking millions and millions of dollars he didn't pay us. Like we're talking probably hundreds of thousands. But
Right.
It was never worth it. It was never worth it to try and go after it.
Right. What were your feelings when you found out he died in jail? Do you have any any certain feeling that came up, or was kind of just
I felt we were all together actually. This was on the My 2K tour. This was August 11th, 2016. Wow. We were in Kansas City. Yeah, we were in Kansas City. And I think it was August 11th. You could look up Lou Pearlman death.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. It might have been 16th or something like that. But we were in Kansas City. We were about to perform at the Power and Light District. We were backstage. I remember we were in like our little bus behind on the street. Yeah, and it was like Twitter or someone. And we were like literally like getting ready to go. Like it was like we were, stretching, like how we are right before we go. It's like right there. It's like 10 minutes before. And we're like, oh damn. So it was like when we did our prayers, like, prayers up,
Yeah.
Like it was mixed emotions. I mean, thank you, Lou. I mean, thank you for what you did. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, thank you for giving me the opportunity to be able to live my dream. Like,
Right.
He was just a bad businessman. He wasn't like necessarily.
He's greedy.
Yeah.
He was greedy.
Epitome of greed. Right. Because like I always said, like he could have gone down in history as one of the greats. He could have been like, man, Lou Pearlman. Nobody ever did what Lou Pearlman did. Like people would be saying that. They'd be like, this dude, do you know what this guy did? He's like fucking Barry Gordy. Like he put together this band. Oh my God. But no, his name, like all he had to do was do good business.
Right.
And
exactly.
He could have been like such a figure to mess with. He could have been like Clive. His name could have rang a way different way.
Right, exactly.
But he did that to himself. That's so that's where you're like, but thank you, Lou.
Yeah, right. Thank you, Lou, and for what you did.
It's like my other friend always says, like, look, he always asks me like, oh, the opportunity gave me, right? It's like, hey, would you give up 4 years of your life to go be a star, be on TV, tour the world, meet tons of celebrities, play in like all these things, do all these things. Don't have to worry about money for 4 years. Like you can't buy whatever you want, but you don't have to like struggle for anything. You can go out anywhere, go on any trip. You're traveling the world. You're doing what you love. And after it's over, I'm going to give you $1,500. Would you take that? Absolutely.
Absolutely.
I mean, every fucking time.
You had girls banging down your bus. I mean, come on.
Experience is greater than wealth, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
who said that? Who said that?
Yeah, exactly. So I would definitely, it's like, so that's what Lou gave me, and like, he's not taking money from me now.
No.
Now because of him, we're able to do what we love. We're like, he made that easier for me to be able to chase these dreams I'm even chasing now still to this day.
Right. Which brings me to solo Trev, as you call it, right? And obviously I you and I work together, and I credit you with allowing me to kind of come to you with the idea and liking the idea, and we went with it, and it was pretty successful, right? I mean,
Absolutely.
Sin City's great. I still think it should be synced for a Las Vegas thing, and it still can happen. It just takes a while,
Oh, well, the thing
But
about it is that it's not like it's a hit song that people are sick of.
right,
There's so many people in this world that haven't heard it, so it can
Sure.
continue to just live.
right.
But as long as the sound of it stays like somewhat relevant or whatever, like that chorus is
Yeah.
like, why could that in 2 years? Why could that not be used in a Las Vegas
can.
commercial? In
It
5
can.
years, why can't that not be used in a Las Vegas? So I don't, it's not like, yeah, that song is I fucking love that song. I love that song is out and people are
It's
able
a
to hear
great
it, man.
song.
That was like a song I
Great
wrote,
song.
and it's like I love that song. I love that song. So yeah, but go ahead, continue. Sorry.
No, I mean it's a it's a great song, and the fact that like we remixed it and made it into dance. Shout out to Gino 418. I mean
Absolutely.
that's I learned that shit from him. He taught me that part of the game.
Yeah.
And I just thought it was a great fit. And I would have released it just without doing remixes, but man, it was so
No,
good.
the remixes were dope. Yeah, I
and
love
they were
that.
dope, and it got serious play, and it got some play.
Yeah, for sure.
But it was such a great song. And, you let me hear like 4 or 5 songs, and I know one of the questions from a fan is what's up with more Trevor solo stuff.
I wanna release more stuff for sure.
Sure.
I want to release something next year. We talked about that. We're just figuring it
100%.
out.
Yes, we'll figure that out.
Stay tuned.
Yes.
Hopefully next February we'll have something for people to hear.
Yes.
Of
course, you got to choose something that needs God's clearance.
Yeah, but it shouldn't be that difficult. We should be able to get it. We reached out already before. We'll figure it out.
I got you. I'm sorry. I'm bringing people in behind the scenes.
But like solo Trevor means so much more than just solo music.
Right.
So that's the thing, is that solo Trevor is the comedy, it's the music, it's the acting, it's the it's
everything.
all of the above. So it's not going to be, there's never going to be like a solo Trevor album. Like I'm releasing music and just to like and doing shows so that I can put these songs on their feet for what they're eventually going to be used for.
Right.
And that is like a Trevor show, like a one-man Trevor show with comedy and storytelling and breaking into song,
Yeah.
Kind of like kind of like what Jamie Foxx does on his special, where he does comedy for a long time and then he jumps behind the piano, but his is, that's more like laughter, comedy, like
right,
sort of like that, but
yeah. I mean, it's
more
a good vision.
more like this though.
Right.
Like song, comedy, song, story, songity, story, like more like that.
Right.
And then the songs will be, productions, like I'll have dancers coming out and then they'll go away and I'll start talking about a new topic. I'll do some stand-up comedy for 10 minutes and I'll start telling another story that'll break into me telling you about another song, and all of it'll have a through line of, my life, my experience, and what's kind of like why I am the way I am, or you know what I mean, whatever. Sure. I haven't grasped exactly what it is yet, but that's what I'm going towards. That's what I'm
sure. Meg Philotowny wants to know, is there another film in the works that you're gonna be in?
Meg Philotowny. Yes, there is actually. I will be releasing a film in March, actually.
Oh.
There will be a film coming out in March, so stay tuned for that.
Nice.
I'm excited about that in March. Michael Madsen is in it.
Oh.
Yeah,
Nice.
Michael Madsen. Dan Tom Arnold is in it.
Tom Arnold,
Michael Madsen, myself, a couple other actors. Guy I know that's been in like Cobra Kai. He plays the lead. My boy Scotty. So it's like a gambling, like Christmas type flick. Not necessarily Christmas, but like it has like a Christmas element, but it's not like a Christmas movie.
Right.
So yeah, it's coming out in March. So stay tuned, Meg Philotowny. Thank you. I see her on Instagram all the time.
Now you have to read for these movies, right? You have to go and read.
This one I did not.
Good for you.
The writer of the film and the director. They saw Chasing Sunshine.
Yes.
Yeah. And so they just kind of were like, hey, I got this part I think you'd be great for. So yeah, it kind of happened like that. So that was good.
Tracy Wheely wants to know who is your dream collaboration music wise? You have a dream collaboration if you could?
A dream collaboration. I think that, I mean, I would, I, I don't know. I think I always say this. I always say Kanye. I don't know why, but I always say
Kanye. Woo.
Yeah, I always say Kanye because
he's talented. Let's not get it twisted. The guy is
yeah,
talented.
yeah. I just,
You know what I mean? But
yeah, I mean, yeah, I just think he's talented and like to be able to just sit with him and like, I don't know, that would be cool.
that's interesting. I thought you were gonna go like Will Smith or
I
something
mean,
like
that's
that.
that's obvious. That
Right.
would be cool. That'd be cool to like do I would love to do like a summertime remix with him.
Right.
Like, hey, let's redo summertime, like kind of with the same hook, like with a new beat, speed it up a little bit and change the verses. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Megan Brady, what Otown song gets stuck in your head the most?
Ooh, good question. Good question. Which Otown song gets stuck in my head the most?
Yeah.
Damn, that's a good question because
no doubt.
Probably Chasing After You.
That's a good song, right?
Cause that hook is just like it just,
Yeah.
Yeah, I
no
think,
doubt.
yeah, maybe Chasing.
No doubt.
We'll say that.
No doubt. So,
and that bass line.
Oh, that bass. I mean, so do you write
so
most of
funky.
your songs now? You guys
Yeah,
get
we
together and
write them all. Yeah,
you write them all.
We don't get together. Well, some like Dan and Eric will get together, or I'll write on Jacob's song, but we don't ever like the four of us sit in a room and like, hey, let's write a song today. We all write differently, so it's not a lot of times that we like write songs together. Although we did write Right Kind of Wrong together like that in the studio.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, Right Kind of Wrong. We did like that. That was cool.
Yeah, that's a good song. I mean, listen, you guys. Again, what bothers me first. I mean, the music business, right? It's weird because I love it, but it's such a shitty business. People are stepping on your neck. People are talking shit about you. People are, and then smiling to your face. People that shouldn't even be in the business are in the business, and it's just a crazy business. And I just think that the music that you guys these last two albums, I guess it's 2 albums, right?
Yeah.
Are I mean just such good song. I don't forward any song if I was listening to the music. That's how many good songs are on there. No, I don't skip.
No skip.
There's no skip song
for sure.
Nah, that ain't it.
I mean, you call me biased. I mean, but yeah, I mean, I think that
you should be.
I think our last album is phenomenal. Like, it doesn't have all or nothing. It doesn't have the one song that would like make us be the, you know what I mean? Like a number one song, but it has all very good songs that are like, man, this is a band that has like a sound and it's put together and it's like, it has all these different elements. Like, I mean, I think if people gave us a chance, if you just played our 10 songs and didn't tell people who it was and they had to listen, I think that they would like it.
I think they would too. And I just, that's why I hate the business is because,
but that's just the way people are, man. It's not the business. It's not the business. It's people. It's the way people are, and we judge everything, and we have opinions on everything. It's the one thing I wish was different was that I wish music came without knowing who the artist was. If it was really about the music and about the songs, then why do I need to know who's singing it?
Well, that's the problem.
We should have to listen to music without knowing who the artist is, and be like, okay, yes, I like it, or no, I don't like it, and then see what songs are on top of the charts. Then see who's doing these things. Like, make everyone blindfolded. Now, obviously, this is what could never happen. It will never happen. But it's just to make a point about how we're wired as humans, and that's how we're
Right.
wired. We're
Right.
wired to judge and say, "I don't like that." Well, you don't know
Right.
if you don't like it.
Right.
I don't like that. Well, you don't know if you
Right.
don't like it. You know,
Right.
it's like I looked at my Spotify rap thing. I listen to 84 different genres of music.
Right.
I'm like in the top 1% of people that do that on Spotify is what it
Right.
said to me on my thing.
Right.
Like,
Really?
yeah.
I mean, with that because you're a musician, bro. I mean, it's what you do, right? You listen to various types of music. You get your inspiration from different genres of
Right.
music.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just and I'm blessed enough to be on the road with you guys through Mike and Brad and how is that singing LFO songs, man? I mean,
I love that. LFO's man. LFO's another like piece of the pie
right,
to why I'm in the band.
right,
Like there's a lot of things had to go right for me to make the band, right? Not
right,
being a singer,
right,
I never sang before.
right,
I mean, I sang, I love music. I could sing every song I was out. I was a human jukebox in high school. I know every song, every genre, you know what I mean? Like that's what I did, but I never sang. Every high school has the kid that's like, oh shit, Daryl, that fool can sing. Daryl can blow.
right.
Hey, Daryl's about to sing. Daryl's about to sing. And everyone huddles around him in the quad and shit. And Daryl starts
Yeah.
fucking singing Boys to Men. Everyone's like, oh, I was not Daryl. Okay. I'm not Daryl. I
Right.
was watching Daryl.
Right.
And, so, I mean, I went to college for theater, not musical theater.
Right.
Because I couldn't sing with those motherfuckers that were trying to be on like Broadway and shit. I was like, oh my God, no way.
Right.
I'm not trying to, I just want to do theater. Like I'm gonna
Right.
I know what my lane is. I'm just gonna act.
Sure.
You know? So I got lucky enough to like I could hear a melody. I could sing the melody, right?
Right.
And dude, Girl on TV, we only had to sing like a verse and a chorus. All the other songs were like I swear, at that time, like, I wasn't like, I couldn't really sing that song well enough to, I think, to like use it in my audition.
Right.
Then we had to choose like this other song was way, way too high. I definitely couldn't sing that one. And it was like LFO, like Girl on TV just sat like perfect. It sat right there. Like
Right.
where I felt confident enough to sing it, like in front of Lou, in front of everyone on TV in the top 25, like,
Right.
and I, thank God, and I sang it well, obviously well enough.
Right.
So shit. And then when we, made it and we were in Orlando, it's like Rich, though they were the main group that was around us, especially because Mike, he was our manager,
Yeah.
I mean, Rich, man, like he just sat me on the bus, like he helped me believe that I could write songs.
Yeah. Yeah.
He helped me believe that I could write songs. He told me like, stop, he's like, don't try to write songs like for them.
Right.
Like you're not gonna write like how Eric writes. You're not gonna write like how Dan writes. You're not gonna write like how Jacob writes. Go hear what you hear and go try to write songs, And I remember like I wrote a song called I Do for Otown for our second album when we were like doing the whole thing.
Right.
And Keith Naftali, who was the president of A&R for Clyde at the time.
Clyde,
Keith Naftali and Larry Jackson were the two guys.
Yep.
And Keith Naftali loved my song. He was like, "Oh my God, he could not convince Clive,
really,
like to pick it or put on the album, but he like loved it, and that was like the first one I'd written after I had like talked to Rich,
right?
Like, and it really like dawned on me like, oh, this is how I write. I'm more like rappy sing, like how Rich does,
right?
Like
just like Rich.
I need to stop trying to like sing like singy songs and more like how I, and so like Rich taught me a huge lesson with that. And then they were the best, man. They were like I said, like I always say on tour every night, they were like the ones that kind of took us under their wing, told us like the stories, like watch out for this, they meant so when we're up there doing those songs, like the fact that I get to sing Girl on TV, like every night I'm like, man, here it comes, like this is the part that I like sang to be in this band, and now that I get to sing it every day like on the stage is like with Brad is like always one of my favorite moments in the whole show.
I mean it's I would call me biased, but it's definitely mine, because of my relationship with Brad and relationship with Mike, and I just feel for them two guys so much every show, man. I just feel for him every show because he's got to go up there and do it, basically
he's doing it without his guys.
And then it's oh man, it's just It's
Yeah.
heartbreaking to me. I love the
Yeah.
guy. I love those guys.
Yeah.
But one more fan question from Mark Fresh. He wants to know, when are you going to bring that cornhole game back to South Jersey? That's what he
Come
wants to
on,
know.
bro. Tell Mark Fresh he needs to brush up on his cornhole before he
You
gets
don't even know.
before he gets a chance to play the champ. Okay, you don't just get to play the champ. You got to prove that you can like work your way up the ladder to beat the champ. Okay, I need to see you win a tournament or something.
He's been up in his game apparently.
Okay, well,
He's been running around South Jersey calling himself the GOAT. Just letting you know.
Oh, okay. I'll tell you what. Well, then, one of these weekends in January when, football playoffs is on Saturday, like AFC wild card or whatever, NFC wild card,
Right.
when the Eagles are playing, because they're not going to win the division. They'll be playing wild card weekend.
Stop it. We're not doing this live on the podcast. We're not doing this. We're not doing this.
So
we
maybe
can
I'll
have a
come
sports
out.
podcast if you want, but we're not doing it.
Yeah, I'll be all over that one.
I know you'll be all over. You competitive.
Sports and entertainment need to mix. Let's go. I'll talk sports to anybody.
No shit. Well, here's the thing. We're gonna have another get together at Tommy's house. So everybody, again, like my crew loves you. They miss you, and they're like, first thing they're like, yo, we tell Trevor when we have the party, he's got to come down. We got to do it for Big B. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure, absolutely.
Thank you for coming on. It's a pleasure working with you, and I enjoy our friendship.
Absolutely.
You guys, even the whole, Dan, Jacob, Eric, you guys welcome me back there like part of the family, man. It means so much to me because I'm still, I'm taking everything in. I'm watching what Joel does. Like I'm like a sponge back there. I can only thank you guys for, allowing me to just kind of, come in the background working with Brad and Mike. So, and for your friendship, bro. Like I think the world of you. You're so talented. I think I still think there's no ceiling for you, man. I think you can do a lot,
Thank you.
moving forward. So
we're working on it.
Yeah, whatever I can do to help, that, man.
Absolutely.
But thanks, brother.
Yes, sir.
I'll probably see you on Sunday then at the show in New York. What is it, Sony
Hall?
Yeah,
buddy. Yeah,
December 10th, right?
Yeah, I walked by there the other day.
Show. Oh, did you?
It's gonna be crazy. Yeah.
Is it? All right, man. I'm gonna stay tonight. I'm gonna get a nice room there. And where's it? Times Square?
Yeah.
Times Square?
Right by Hamilton. Right across the street from Hamilton. Sweeney Todd.
Oh, is it?
Yep.
Man, me in public transportation, but I'm gonna get there.
You got it.
All right, brother. I appreciate you. Love you. Stay safe. See you Sunday.
Right, yeah.
All right, man.
Thanks, brother.
My guy Trevor Penick from Otown. Love that dude. We do have a friendship that I really enjoy. He's such a good dude. Such a talented cat. That guy dances his ass off every show. You know what I wanted to get into, and I just didn't want to stretch out the show too long, was their VIPs, man. The LFO VIP, the O-Town VIP, how they just interact with their fans the second time around is just second to none, man. They just, the way they treat their fans, and I get to be a part of it, and being with Brad and Mike Caputo. Shout out to Brad and Mike. I never go a show without mentioning Mike, because he's a big part of my journey in music right now, and what we got going with Carly. And I know, it's a frustrating thing because you're waiting for contract, and there's something big coming along. I'm telling you, it's coming. Trips to California. We make those trips often. We're talking, I'm in conference room with guys I never thought I'd ever be in conference rooms with. So shout out to Mike Caputo. Shout out to Brad, LFO, honor Rich, honor Devin. I'm just blessed to be here. But that's it for tonight. The Not So Famous podcast. Please, if you can, just go to your Apple podcast or iTunes or wherever you get your podcast from, and just like, subscribe, follow, comment, leave a 5-star, hopefully, and hope you enjoyed this. I believe we have coming up on Monday is a gentleman by the name of Aaron Kane. He was from a group called Sudden Impact. Sudden Impact, if you watch the Boys to Men video, that they were signed by Michael Bivens. If you watch that Motown Philly video, where they're showing the montage of the bands towards the end, and they have another bad creation. You'll see 5 white guys, and they point at you. That's sudden impact. Well, Dave Holmes from MTV did a podcast last year that was the most downloaded podcast that year. I think it was called I forget what it's called now. I think it was Brace for Impact or Finding Impact, something like that, where he went to search for sudden impact. And what a crazy story. And he found all the 5 members, and Aaron happened to live here close to me, and we got together, and it's just such an interesting story. I wanted to have him on, and I think everybody would enjoy Aaron's story. So I'm pretty sure we're going to lock him up for Monday. I have other guests coming up, just trying to lock down some dates with them. I don't want to say who yet because I don't want to jinx them. I got a really big one in the works, and it's just a matter of timing. So thank you guys for tuning in. I really appreciate everybody. And please go ahead and go to my Instagram, go to Trevor's Instagram. You'll see it scrolling there at Trevor Penick 24, and mine is at the Manager Marco. And those are on Instagram. So thank you very much, everybody. Shout out to my 418 crew. Deneen, we got a show at Adelphia's in West Deptford, or Deptford, New Jersey, tomorrow night. It's a Divas tour. My girl Deneen, she got the hottest freestyle song. It's a great song. It's so catchy. Go look up Deneen When You Talk. It's so good. All right, man. Have a great night. Catch you next week.